Hello there. Once again, it's Santon from Antonimo Bay, taking a look at a few more X-Men comics. Trying to kind of get my way through Jim Lee's run and the first 50 issues of X-Men. And we are deep into the Andy Kubert run this time. And his work, I don't know if I would say it's better than Jim Lee's work. I mean, Jim Lee's work is kind of legendary in its own right. But man, Kubert didn't miss a beat when he was taking over primary duties on the book. And honestly, if you didn't like stop and read everything, you might even miss that it switched hands. Because I mean, Kubert, though it's different, it's not so vastly different that it's like jarring. It's just a little bit different. I don't know if I like it better or less. And this has a lot to do with Ilyana Rasputin, which is magic, and that is one of my favorite characters. I also love the appearance of Darkstar, the Soviet superhero gal. For some reason, I've always been fascinated with that. Of course, I was young at the end of the Cold War, so everything to do with Soviet Russia was interesting to me, since they were the ones who was going to kill us all. But I always just found her fascinating, so yeah, anytime I see Darkstar appear, I'm always a little bit excited, because I'm like, oh yeah, it's Darkstar. Darkstar. And I'll always remember her appearance from the animated series where Omega Red always keeps referring to her that way. He's like, Darkstar. Tremendous work. He really amps up like her Asian appearance, Betsy Braddock's. I don't know how I feel about these outfits. This is one thing I've noticed. When Gambit and Rogue are not in uniform, they both dress like idiots. Like, I wish, like, nah, guys, why don't you just stay in your uniforms? I don't know why you always have them dressed like that. You know, Storm dresses great. Wolverine dresses how you'd expect him to. Cyclops dresses like normally, but whenever Rogue gets in a regular thing, or Gambit, they dress dumb. I don't know what their deal is. What do we got going on here? Of course, I realize it's the artist drawing their clothes that way, but still. I like Wolverine doesn't look like a doofus or a douchebag. Colossus looks totally normal. I've seen Cyclops wears a lot of pretty basic outfits. Wowza. This is actually a panel I have seen reprinted in promotions like everywhere. That for some reason this pops up everywhere. Even if you just look up X-Men pages, that will pop up. Psylocke with her foot on the toilet there, for some reason, is just, it's big popping. Even though her eyes are just slits, they're not even open. And I've never understood why is Cyclops eyes that way. I don't get it. Anyway, interesting. Jubilee having breakfast with Ilyana, who doesn't look like a teenager at all, even though she's just a little kid. The return of Omega Red. He was definitely a cool staple of villainy in this era. We'll start out with a beautiful opening page. And there's the ad for the Army of Darkness, the old painted thing, which the movie is simultaneously both completely represented and completely unrepresented in this imagery. Absolutely wrong, but it is what it is. Yes, make us flip the page. That's a big, cool picture of Omega Red. Don't know that it needed to be a double pager, but whatever you say, Kubert, whatever you say. It's a good bet the kids' favorite mutants ain't turtles. I always thought this was rude because I was a huge Ninja Turtle fan, much bigger Ninja Turtle fan during this era than I was a comic book fan of X-Men or anything like that. But still, I was like, I don't know, man. I think the Mutant Turtles might be more popular than X-Men right now. I was right. They totally were. I've never seen X-Men be as popular as Ninja Turtles. Probably never will be. Even at the pinnacle of their issue production. There's no book that outsold them, but still. Get what all I'm saying. Kids weren't buying X-Men underwear at the same time they were buying Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle underwear. More fun from Dark Star. We are, of course, in the frozen hellscape that is Russia. The USSR at the time. I was trying to think, what year was this? This was 93. What year did the Soviets, Russia collapse? I think it was 91. 91 or 93. Somewhere in there. It's been a long time. I can't remember exactly when they made that announcement on the news that Gorbachev had resigned. The end of the Cold War. I never understood how they could defeat Omega Red when he has that aura of death. Like, doesn't it just everybody just die when they get close to him? Should probably point out the artwork. It is pretty fantastic. Very, very detailed. I would say where Jim Lee does a very similar style, Kubert makes a style that looks very similar to Jim Lee's, only if Jim Lee was in a really big hurry. Is his work, Kubert's work always seems awfully rushed. And if you look, you'll see like very small, repeated, kind of not so perfect pages or panels. Not anything like landmark, but if you just look, a lot of times the eyes aren't quite right, or something will be slightly off a line, out of alignment, and you're just thinking to yourself, you know, you were just in a hurry. It just looks like you were in a hurry, which is pretty much what I'm assuming it probably was. But I know, I've noticed that when I look at Jim Lee stuff, it looks very hectic and action-packed and all that stuff, but it doesn't look like ever he just made a mistake. And I've noticed sometimes with Kubert, especially in your crowds, this is where I've seen it the most. Look at your crowd faces, and sometimes their faces just look off, like you didn't give them quite the time that you needed to. And I love how he draws facial stubble, but sometimes I wonder if the stubble on the face was just to kind of distract somewhat from some of the other flaws that maybe he would find. But I noticed this, like, just his faces are a little off sometimes. Art aside, which I think is great, and I'm not going to critique it too much because, you know, I love this guy. But, yeah, their faces are both off in this, and they're dressed like idiots. But this is definitely a story revolving around Russia, Ilyana Rasputin, one of my favorite, most tragic X-Men characters. I know she died. I don't remember how she came back. Don't remember what all the deal was with that. It's been so long since I've read it. I just remember her death, and then I remember she was back, but I don't remember exactly how they came to terms with that. So a lot of great poses. Classic stuff in the classic uniforms. Let's see where we are here. I don't really know what's going on with the background there, but that's a nice closer page. Set these back up. Put that right back there. This is a gorgeous X-Men cover. It's a team stacked pose. Some people really hate these. I think like some of them work, some of them don't. This one absolutely works. So I love that. Guess who's back? I'm gonna guess Magneto. Is Magneto back? Jubilee looks good. Nice outfit that still lets you know who it is. We've got Ilyana. I think she is ill. I think she stays sick at the mansion until she passes away, but I can't remember. It's been so long. But you never see Charles Xavier with this much Cyclops working on stuff. I feel like they would have Forge be doing that as opposed to Cyclops. And what is up with this? I don't remember this Cyclops Betsy Braddock fling thing at all. I don't recall this at all. I don't recall this. So yeah, somebody will have to remind me of that, because I don't remember this at all. And if Cyclops was having some sort of fling with Psylocke at the time, I don't remember that, and that certainly changes some of my perspective on the character, because I thought Cyclops was like pretty much a stand-up guy up until they started making movies about him where they made him really unlikable in the films. And then there was the whole part where, you know, the affair with, oh, what's her name? Emma Frost. And I was just like, that seems so weird and out of character. So yeah, I'm not sure. I will have to look into that a little bit, or just wait for somebody to tell me, because that seems a little bit weird. I don't recall that at all. Psylocke, Revanche, Betsy Braddock, and Quanon. Who's been sleeping in my head? I am Betsy Braddock, and this woman always is and always has been an imposter. Bum, bum, bum. And you got a whole house full of telepaths that didn't know that. Perfect. Anyway, there you go. There's 4 more issues of X-Men. I greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. I love watching these. I love flipping through these. I appreciate you guys love watching these. So thank you very much. That's my story. I need a refill on coffee, clearly, because it's early. Anyway, catch you guys later. Bye.